This is your favorite curator, the digital collectible curator. And you know what, folks? Like, after the 6 high impact things that NFT founders could do, right? I kind of felt to myself like I need to be transparent, open, right? Like, it's not all on the founders as much as I want to whip them back to work, which they should. We also should get to work, right? Because you know what? I believe that right here, right now, it is time for 6 high impact things collectors can do to help their NFT brands. It is what it is. Fact is, like, not only with this case in general, but just in life, you cannot simply just sit there and hope everything is going to be a-okay. More than anything, you got to ask yourself, what power do I have to contribute to like the outcome of, to contribute to the outcome, period, right? So, why? Because, first of all, why would you like to be a passive holder to begin with, right? We live in a attention market where content is king. We need people to tell, like, we need like holders, collectors to basically preach the gospel of their favorite NFTs, right? Only in that way you're going to affect others to basically entice them to be a part of your community. That way you would like attract the right kind of holders, community members, whatever you want to call it, whatever scope they will be in. And more than anything, right? Founders and holders, fact is, we live some kind of in a symbiotic relationship to where both parties need the other, right? It starts top down. It starts with the founders, to where like founders just need to step up, and to where like the other part, the holders, need to amplify that to the best of their abilities. Because like fact is, that's where you're going to have the best results. And you know what? If it's not for the best results, what are we doing here to begin with? Right? So, having said that, first point, be visible and vocal, right? If you are, if you're holding an NFT, right? And especially if you're using them as like a profile picture, you're repping your brand at the end of the day, right? So, reply to discussions. Retweet and engage with like the NFT messages, right? Like, what do I mean by that? Like, especially when the collection comes out with like some extra data, with some extra news, with extra whatever, make sure that they increase their reach through you as a holder, right? Engage in spaces, right? Like, preach the gospel of whatever NFT you are a part of, and like engage within those discussions. Why? Right? Because fact is, no one sees silent holders to begin with, right? You want to have like more representation within the space. You want to like get like, you want to, well, represent like a form of feeling part of a community, right? You want to create more momentum. And essentially, by doing that, you're amplifying the reach, right? Secondly, generate content, like whatever content you want, like as long as it's like semi good-ish content, right? It's good enough, right? We don't all have the same skill set. We don't need it, right? But like, create the narratives, like write the threads, right? Create like short clips, put some artworks. If you're really lazy, like I am occasionally, just chat GPT something and make like a quick little meme, write an article, whatever you feel makes sense, right? Why, at the end of the day, it's free marketing, right? It's free visibility, and it brings both hype and narrative. I will say one thing though, like memes is one thing, right? And it's just joking around, but like at the end of the day, memes will only get you so far, right? That's just kind of what it is. There needs to be a little bit of substance to it. Be an active community member. Like, I think this one is like extremely important, right? If you are partaking a role within like a community, make sure to actually like come in and partake in that like little ecosystem, right? At the end of the day, like you want to engage with community events. Like these are like special occasions to like bond with your fellow community members and your fellow holder, right? Engage within like chats and discussions, right? Like do whatever you can do to contribute to like keeping the community alive and potentially like expanding upon it, right? Participate in like the roadmap kind of events, right? And engage with subDAOs. I mean, like this is like so interesting, right? And so important as well. Pretty much like all of like the NFT brands out there, they have subDAOs, right? So what does that mean? Like for anyone who is not really acquainted with NFTs, more often than not, NFTs have certain traits, right? More often than not, several of those certain traits have a what we call a subDAO, which is basically a mini community within that NFT community, right? Let's say an example would be Crowns Are the Alpha, to where there's a small little subDAO with like crowns holders, right? It can be like within one NFT brand or like within more, but like that's kind of like depending on whatever like NFT brand you're in. Now, why would you do this? Because like at the end of the day, what other reason do you need to have like a lively and flourishing ecosystem, right? At the end of the day, we're here for the art, but we're also here for like the human connections, right? Um, the feeling of actually having like a group of friends, right? The feeling of having like you can basically travel like any city in the world, and within like any city you can have like a quality steak dinner with like fellow community members. You want to contribute to that. Plus, you're actually like improving like the overall like ecosystem quality, because with you partaking in that, you would actually grow in numbers and grow in quality with regards to like the well, the activity within the community, right? Also, maybe like equally important to this, you're going to give new members um, a enhanced experience of being a new community member. It just is what it is. Next, be active in the ecosystem. So like what's the difference with this one, right? With like the former one, not only do you want to be like active within your community, but like if we're talking Solana, for example, you want to represent your NFT brand within the Solana ecosystem, right? So engage with other communities, support other communities by repping your brand, right? I mean, like we're not in a player versus player kind of atmosphere right here right now. We as like NFTs, like we can all kind of make it, right? um Depending on like some like smaller specifics, but like let's just say for the sake of it, like all of the blue chips, like we can all kind of make it. Like there's still a lot of room to grow for anyone and everyone. Partake in ecosystem events repping your NFT, right? Again, like these are just like very these are just like a handful of like examples on how you can basically put the proof in the pudding, right? Why would you do this? It will enhance the visibility of your NFT on the timeline. More people will get in touch with your favorite NFT brand, right? It will enhance visibility with other communities, right? Like if a community is aware that your community is alive and kicking, you might attract collectors from that certain other NFT within your own NFT brand, right? And at the end of the day, you are establishing authority, right? If you are representing your NFT brand well within like the bigger Solana ecosystem, you will bring authority to your own NFT ecosystem. Hold your conviction publicly. Share why you are a fan of whatever NFT brand you are a fan of. And I mean, people are going to probably like challenge your beliefs, etc., etc. But like defend those beliefs with logic, right? Other than her, der, me, likey. Tell them why it's a good ecosystem. What's the good? What's the bad? Like educate people, right? And like document your collector's journey. It builds trust. It builds narrative. Um, it basically it's a green flag for like anyone who is looking for new communities at the end of the day to basically see on the timeline or whatever social media you're on and basically be like, hey, you know what? Their own community seems to be rather happy with what they're doing. And last but definitely not least, actively bring in more people, right? Any community right here, right now, and especially during the bear market, they are all looking for more quality holders, right? So invite the right kind of collectors, attract them by, well, showing your conviction, right? Help them with like getting like the right kind of deals, spot like the good bangs for a buck, and you might just like got yourself like a new friend in your collection you called home, right? Bring in like the quality people, look for look for builders, look for artists, look for like active participants within the ecosystem, right? And that way you can actually grow your own community or ecosystem with quality holders. Now, why is that important, right? Because like equally, rather than flippers, rather than people who will just like engagement farm your own community to basically drop it and move on to the next. You want to strengthen the fundamentals of your own community, right? You want people to actually see and experience firsthand that your own community might be so special that it's worth like, well, remaining to be a part of, right? Plus, at the end of the day, you're lowering the threshold for like new people to join in, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, for now, that is kind of it, right? If I'm being like very strict to like builders, and again, get to work, guys. So should you, so should I, so should anyone, right? Because like fact is, at the heart of the bear market, when most speculators left and most people are convinced NFTs will never, ever, ever come back, we need to collaborate on this in the symbiotic way to basically reignite like well, collectors hype within NFTs. That's it for now, guys. On to the next one, and I'll chat with you soon. Cheers.